is River Navarro from Bakersfield Behavioral Healthcare Hospital. I'm the Director of Clinical Services, and I'd like to talk to you about something special today. But first, I'd like to say hi. It's good to be back. I haven't been doing as much videos lately, so I'm really excited about this week. I'm going to talk about something different. I want to wish a happy Wellness Wednesday to everyone and say hi to all of our Facebook family and friends. So I'm just going to jump right in. This topic has been on my mind lately, and I just felt like it was time. Let's do it. I'm going to go hard. All right. So today, I'd like to talk about kids and mental health. So I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately, and part of it kind of stemmed from a conversation I was having with my own parents about mental health and kind of reflecting on my own childhood, and we were talking about some different things, about them growing up, and the conversation, to long story short, was that we really didn't talk about mental health issues growing up. And considering, that I work in mental health, that I've always been very curious and interested about it, my parents were so open about everything. It's like, why didn't we ever talk about this? So I was kind of reflecting on that, and I wanted to, I guess, kind of open up the conversation, right? It's 2020, it's a new day. People are speaking openly about mental health now. We're talking about, addressing shame and stigma, so on and so forth. Who needs that? So I just wanted to have a really open conversation about that today. But I want to give you some information first. So I want to kind of go over a couple things. I'll transition into some of the barriers that I think prevent people from talking openly with children and teens about mental health. Tips for having conversations with kids and teens about mental health. And then I'll end with kind of some tips and pointers to guide you through the process if you have a child or teen that does decide they want to talk to you openly about their mental health, just to kind of guide you through that process, kind of what to do in those situations. So first things first, I'll give you some information. As many as 1 in 6 kids has some type of mental health disorder. That would be kids between the ages of 2 and 8 specifically. And as many as 1 in 5 teens also have a mental health disorder. So that's 1 in 6 kids, 1 in 5 teens. For teens, that is ages 12 through 18. So, and for adults, it's about 1 in 4 to 5 adults has some type of mental health disorder. So having said that, we need to talk about it. So it's not something that we need to be embarrassed about or we need to feel ashamed about. Everyone talks about their physical health quite a bit, and so we need to treat our mental health the same way as something that we should just be able to speak about openly. So I'm going to kind of transition into some of the barriers and maybe reasons why adults do not feel comfortable maybe discussing some of these issues with kids or teens. I just think there's a lot of silence in general around mental health. I think some of that does have to do with shame and stigma, like I mentioned earlier. I think there's a lot of shame and stigma that is passed down generationally. I can at least say that from my own experience as a person of Latin American descent. There's not a lot of conversation about mental health. Mental health symptoms or disorders are often attributed to something else, like a substance use problem, some other issue that kind of doesn't really make any sense, but might be a good explanation, right? So I think a lot of that definitely carries over generation after generation to where that shame and stigma kind of transfers through people to where it's taboo, so, oh, don't go there, we're not going to talk about it, right? I think a lot of adults also have a lot of misconceptions Maybe they're not in touch with younger generations of people, or maybe they forgot about how they felt growing up. There might be some disconnect there. I know a lot of adults think that, oh, kids aren't worried about that stuff. No, they are worried about it. In fact, not just because I work here, but because I know kids and teens in my real life, my experience has actually been quite the opposite. Their younger generations are very concerned about their mental health. They want information. They're very educated about it. They're very open. They want to have clear, honest conversations about it. So I'm here to tell you, if you're an adult, kids and teens, all that is not true. Kids and teens, majority of the time, are okay speaking pretty openly about it. I also think a lot of adults are afraid to talk about mental health with younger people, because there's also kind of a false belief that, okay, well, if I educate them about anxiety, depression, stress, grief, whatever it may be, I'm going to give them ideas. I'm going to make them feel that way, or I'm going to upset them, or they can't handle it, or whatever. And I'm here to tell you that's not true either. So, in fact, majority of the kids and teens I know are actually pretty mature and very capable of understanding, and they're able to understand what anxiety, depression, stress, all those things, if they're talked to about it in an open way. So enough about all the barriers. I want to kind of transition into different tips that might help you initiate conversations. So if you're a person that hasn't really talked with a kid or teen about this, this might help you. So one, it might be helpful to give them some observations. So people respond pretty well to evidence, right? So if you've noticed this change in someone's mood or behavior, it's okay to mention that, like, for example, hey, kid or teen, I've noticed this change in your behavior, like, I notice you're not talking to your friends as much, or you've been staying in your room a lot more. I noticed your mood has been different. You've been a little more irritable, something going on. Can I help you? Right? Just telling them what you've been observing about them, right? So that they know, like, oh, okay, I'm kind of coming across differently to people. That might be helpful. That might be a way to open up a conversation. Maybe try giving them some information. So I know kids and teens now are, big on Googling everything, and they want information in real time that's accurate. And I think that's great. I love that about especially our kids and teens here. They want information from a trusted source, like, where is this from? Where did you get this? I'd like to look into this when I leave here, so on and so forth. And so that's a good thing. So try maybe giving them some information from maybe a trusted website. You can look through the CDC website, the World Health Organization website. There's a lot of different things about mental health, specifically during the pandemic and COVID. If you feel that's something, they might benefit from. There's a lot of other, mental health websites. I look a lot at the American Psychological Association, their website, Psychology Today. There's a lot of psychological magazines you can reference online. So, and there's a lot of information now online about kids and teens and mental health specifically. So, maybe give them some information and see where that goes. Another tip. I always say anytime you want to discuss something with a kid or teen, talk to them about it like you would any other subject, right? Because mental health, it's a big deal, but it's really not a big deal. So talk to them about it in a very matter-of-fact way, in a very relaxed way, the way you would have a conversation with them about, how their day went in class, or, you know, anything else that you would normally talk to them about, and show them that it's really not anything that's difficult to talk about, right? Because it shouldn't be. What to do if they decide to talk to you about it. So I guarantee you, if you talk openly about it, 9 times out of 10, they're going to talk to you openly about it. I've had kids and teens tell me all kinds of things just because I was being open and direct about something. So first things first, you want to listen. Listening is very important. You really want to pay attention to the things that they're telling you. You want to be non-judgmental. So this to me is extremely important, especially because I mentioned earlier the shame and the stigma and some other things. You know, it can be very difficult for people to open up about mental health because of the messages that they've received about that. You know, they don't want to come across, you know, as crazy. I don't like saying that word, but you get the point, right? So people are often very fearful of how they're going to be judged or how they're going to be perceived. So if a kid or teen trusts you enough to talk about their mental health with you, you definitely want to be non-judgmental. Learn about what they're telling you, right? So if you're getting the feeling it's about anxiety or depression or stress or grief or trouble coping with the pandemic, you know, whatever it may be, and maybe you don't know that much about it, use it as an opportunity to learn about it, right? So if they're telling you something and maybe you're not sure, that's a good opportunity to say, you know what, I want to talk to you more about that and I need to educate myself, right? It's okay to say that. Or, hey, let's learn together, right? That's really important. I think we both need to learn more about that so we know how to talk about it, right? Normalize what they're telling you, okay? So I don't know about you, but all the things I've mentioned, all the different mental health symptoms, I have struggled with all of them at some point in my life, and I think most people have. So that's a good time to normalize what they're telling you, that, you know, whether you've experienced it or someone else you know, or you just know how common it is, right? It's okay to let them know that like you really appreciate what they're telling you and you want them to know that they're not alone, that people all over the world struggle with mental health issues too, and that it's nothing to be ashamed about. Put aside your own concerns and fears. So, a lot of adults tell me when their kid or teen is speaking openly to them, you know, they get scared. And that's okay, right? Because we care about these people. But you do have to put that aside, right? Because this isn't about you. This is about them. So you want to give them that respect and that time. You know, you want to give it what it deserves. So despite how you're feeling, and you might be freaking out just a little bit, that's okay because you're human. But you definitely want to kind of put that on the back burner while you're listening and while you're assessing the situation, right? You got to stay calm. You don't want to scare them off because you're scared, right? So I always say stay calm, listen, be non-judgmental, assess the situation, you know, educate yourself a little bit about what they're talking about, learn about it with them, have some open conversations. And lastly, ask them what they need. I can't stress this one enough. And they might not know what they need, right? And that's okay. But the few times in my life when someone has said, River, what do you need? It has really impacted me. And I know a lot of other kids and teens that say the same thing, right? So maybe that's something you can help them figure out, right? It's okay if they don't know, but it's nice to open up that door into a conversation that could really lead somewhere. You know, like, how can I help you, or how can I support you during this time? What do you need? And if you don't know, that's okay. Let's talk about it because it's really important. I want to help you in some way. And beyond all of those tips, All I can say is just be open to talking about it. You don't know where it could lead. It could lead to some really cool stuff. It could lead to all kinds of things. So I hope you found all of these tips and information I gave you today helpful. I look forward to bringing you more information next week. Until then, have a great day, everyone. Bye.